Hello and welcome to The Explainer. So today we are tackling one of the biggest quests in life, right? Finding an amazing life partner. But what if everything we've been told about that search is kind of backward? Stick around because we're about to flip the script on who you should really be looking for.
So let me ask you, are you out there right now searching for the one? You know, that perfect person who's just gonna click? The one who finishes your sentences and makes all the messy parts of life just make sense. Yeah, it's a feeling we all know. It's a search so many of us are on. But what if that person, the one you've been searching for high and low, isn't another person at all? What if the ideal partner, the one who holds the key to transforming all of your relationships, is actually way, way closer than you realize? Okay, let's really get into this. First things first, we have to tear down this huge, powerful myth that most of us grew up with. I'm talking about the myth of the soulmate. This idea that there's one single person out there who holds the key to our happiness. You know the story. It goes something like this. If I can just find the right person, then I'll finally feel safe and loved and complete. We put all of that weight, all that responsibility for our own emotional well-being right onto our partner's shoulders. We expect their actions, their attention, their love to fix whatever feels a little broken inside of us. And that brings us to this kind of radical question. What if the secret to a fantastic partnership isn't about finding the perfect person, but about becoming the perfect partner for yourself? Because that relationship you have with yourself, that's the foundation for everything else. So why is this relationship with yourself so critical? Well, to get it, we've got to look at these deep psychological patterns that are running the show. You see, the biggest fights we have in our relationships today, they're not really new. They're almost always just echoes from our past. So, let's talk about your inner child. Now, this isn't some weird, floaty concept. It's a real part of your mind that holds on to all the emotional memories from when you were a kid. It remembers what love felt like, what safety felt like, and also what neglect or abandonment felt like. And when that part of you feels ignored, oh, it has a way of showing up and screaming for attention right in the middle of your adult relationships. And here's how that works. It's a process called projection. So on the surface, you might be thinking, ugh, my partner's job is clearly more important than I am. But if we dig a little deeper, what's really going on? That complaint is an echo. It's your inner child reliving that old, painful feeling of abandonment from when a parent wasn't around. You're not actually just mad about them working late. You're re-experiencing a core hurt from your childhood and projecting it right onto your partner. You know, Freud had a really intense way of putting this. He basically said that we unconsciously use our partners to settle old scores with our parents. We're trying to get the love we didn't get, resolve those old family issues, and sometimes, even get a little revenge for those childhood hurts. It's a really powerful cycle, but here's the good news. It's a cycle you can absolutely break. So how do we actually break that cycle? This is where the magic happens. This is where the real work begins. It's all about learning to become the attentive, present, and loving partner to yourself that you've been searching for in everybody else. And the first step is so simple. It starts with just one number, 3. Every single day, I want you to find 3 things you're grateful for in your partner. And if you're single, no problem. Do it for the idea of a partner. Just this tiny act of noticing 3 things, it completely shifts your brain from focusing on what's missing to what you already have. It's like you're putting on a new pair of glasses and you can finally see all the good that was there the whole time. Okay, here's a super practical 3-step method for listening to that inner voice. The next time you feel that sting of being upset or let down, just pause. Step 1, hear it. Really listen to what that inner complaint is saying. Step 2, write it. Get that feeling down on paper, no judgment allowed. And step 3, provide. Ask that hurt part of yourself, okay, what do you need from me right now? And then you give it to yourself. See, the big goal here is to essentially reparent yourself. It's about you becoming that consistent, loving, present figure that your inner child always needed. And when you can provide that safety and love for yourself, you stop demanding it from other people. And that frees them and you to build a relationship that's so much healthier. So once you start doing this inner work, it's amazing how the way you interact with your partner just fundamentally changes. This whole process sets you up for a completely new set of rules for how to connect, rules for a more mature adult relationship. A huge concept here is something called equilibrium. Look, it's wonderful to be a generous giver in a relationship, but a partnership is not a one-way street. It has to have a healthy balance of giving and receiving, because when that balance gets thrown off for too long, resentment always follows. Now, here is a fantastic little trick for figuring out where your relationship might be out of balance. Think about your biggest, most frequent complaint about your partner. Is it about money, attention, affection? Whatever it is, that complaint is a giant flashing sign. It almost always points to the very thing you feel you're overgiving to try and get the scales back to even.
So instead of complaining, which is a child's strategy, you can communicate like an adult using the simple 3-part framework. First, start with I feel. You're taking ownership of your emotion. Then, I propose. You're offering a concrete, positive solution. And finally, how do we resolve this? You're inviting them to be your partner in solving it. You're no longer making demands, you're building a solution together.
And what's the result of all this? Well, it's beautiful. It's not that you need the other person to make you feel complete. It's that your own life feels so full and wonderful that you have this deep, genuine desire to share it. The feeling becomes this: nothing in my life feels truly complete until I get to share it with you. It's a partnership that comes from abundance, not from neediness.
And this all leads us to the ultimate destination, the big reframing of what a relationship is all about. It's not about two broken halves trying to fix each other. It's about creating a true partnership of equals.
Just look at the difference here. The childlike approach to conflict, it demands the other person change. It uses things like money or withholding affection as tools for control, and it blames the other person for its own unhappiness. But the adult approach, it respects that your partner is their own person. It sees power as something to be shared, and most importantly, it takes full responsibility for its own needs and its own happiness.
This means it is time for us to throw out that old, romanticized idea of finding our other half. That's not the goal. The real purpose of a truly great partnership is for two whole, complete, independent individuals to choose to share their lives, walking side by side as equals.
So, I'm going to leave you with one final question to really let sink in. After all of this, I want you to ask yourself, if you were your own partner, the most important one you will ever have, what would you thank yourself for today? The answer to that? That's where the real journey begins.